So hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we've had a great game. I mean, seems that in the Asian Cup someone has pressed a button and said more surprises please, and Japan has lost against Iraq. South Korea has almost lost this game. They are nearly lost this game against Jordan, and they've lost in deserving fashion, because it wasn't like a goal scored and they have parked the bus and what happens. It was a game well played by Jordan. Really, congrats to them. And I mean, it's a surprise because, of course, of the general level of the two teams and looking at the historical of the two teams, the rankings and everything. But if you look just at this Asian Cup and you look at the first game, it's not such a surprise because Jordan played a beautiful game in their first game against Malaysia, and South Korea didn't look so great against Bahrain. Okay, you probably can say, okay, Jordan still has to play with Bahrain and South Korea still has to play with Malaysia, and we don't know how exactly the level of Malaysia is and how exactly the level of Bahrain is, because they have just played just one game, and the second game is gonna be shortly in a few minutes. But that's correct, that's true, but I'm talking about how they played game-wise, like technically. And South Korea in their game against Bahrain, at a certain point they were in trouble. The game was 1-1. Bahrain was starting to push. Bahrain was starting to believe in that game, and who brought out of the problems South Korea was Lee Kang-in. Lee Kang-in had two beautiful goals in that game against Bahrain, and yeah, out of nowhere South Korea won that game. But really, like, they weren't as good as we were expected, and this game was the same. Just the difference is Lee Kang-in didn't score an impressive goal, so that's the difference. But anyways, let's talk about the game. So the first few minutes is South Korea plays well. They push and they find immediately a penalty kick. There is a VAR check because there was the doubt if the defender touched the ball or not. After VAR check, they checked that he didn't. So penalty kick. Heung-min Son goes. Heung-min Son that didn't score in 2019 tournament, and he didn't score in the first game. So his last goal was back in the 2015 Asian Cup back in Australia. And he scores. He scores with a Panenka, a simil Panenka. It wasn't exactly a Panenka. It was a Panenka, but with a little bit more power. And yeah, after that goal, we all thought probably, okay, South Korea is going to have a day in the office. They're gonna have not an easy game, but they're gonna manage this game without too many difficulties. But no, because after that Jordania start to push a little bit, start to rise up a little bit, and then we've seen Musa Al-Tamari playing better, Al-Mardi playing better, and Neymar playing better. Like, everyone was so focused in that game in the Jordanian team. That was very impressive. Coach Muta has done a beautiful job, really. And yeah, then we have a couple of opportunities, a shot by Al-Mardi, and then after a ball loss, and that resulted on a corner kick. The corner kick results on a goal, and the goal is a no goal by Park Kyung-woo. The ball was going to Al-Arab, but the Korean player put the ball in his goal, and that was the moment where we were like, okay, so this game is going to be like the Iraq one or like the Bahrain one. So Bahrain, the Iraq, of course, for Japan, like Iraq, after scoring, they went on scoring again. In the Bahrain game, Bahrain scored against Korea, and then Korea scored with Lee Kang-in, and they like they closed that problem, that possible problem and the possible drama that would have happened that game for South Korea. Japan didn't against Iraq, so Japan, after receiving one goal, they received another one, and they ultimately lost that game. And happened pretty much what happened with Japan, because Japan received a goal and then received a second one before the end of the first half. That's what happened here. The game seemed to go on a draw towards halftime, but no, because Yazan Nemat scores a good goal, a good shot from outside the area, the 51st minute, 45+6, because it was still first half. After Al-Tamari shoots, the ball comes to Nemat that scores, and so Jordan goes ahead. And the second half, there are a couple of changes for South Korea. Of course, Jordan at this point starts to defend a little bit more. But I have to say, South Korea, I was surprised that South Korea wasn't trying to have any kind of high pressing, high pressure on the Jordanian lines when they didn't have the ball, because that's something that they were very lacking. When Jordania had the ball, South Korea was just waiting for the most of the time, and that's one big problem, I think, for Jürgen Klinsmann, with the other one being the fact that they are not being able to give the ball to Heung-min Son and do something with him. And also Cho Go-sung, he's staying there, but he's not really, they are not really playing with him. Like, he's just staying there for, if a ball comes to him, he tries to do something, but he's a box player. He stays in the box, so he needs to receive balls, and he needs to go for a header, to go for a touch for to go to the goal. Seems a little bit like Australia. Honestly, if you have seen Australia playing, if you have seen the Socceroos in this tournament, seems to say that they have the same problem that perhaps Graham Arnold will try to resolve with his Australia team. Jürgen Klinsmann needs to resolve this one, because this game, in the second half especially, we've seen that they weren't really able to do much. There were a couple of shots from outside the area, but this game at a certain point seemed to go to a loss. But then Hwang Gimbeom goes for a shot at the 91st minute, stoppage time, and luckily for him, Al Arab has a touch on that ball, and he scores an own goal. And yeah, that was a bad situation for him. And I mean, it's fun enough that Al Arab was the one that provoked the own goal for South Korea, because Park Kyung-woo was trying to save that ball from coming to Al Arab to score. So yeah, South Korea then tries to push, tries to find the back of the net to win the game. They ultimately didn't. They had a couple of big opportunities, big chances, but the game ends with a draw. So South Korea and Jordania got 4 points. We will see in the next game between Bahrain and Malaysia if one of these two teams will find the win and perhaps go back into contention for a qualification spot to the knockout stages. Anyways, South Korea will play against Malaysia in the next game, and Jordania will play against Bahrain. Before saying what I expect, honestly, I have to see the game between Bahrain and Malaysia. That's gonna happen soon, in just a few minutes. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you soon.